question is then, can the black community count on Hillary? For 50 years now, blacks in America have been near monolithic in their support of the Democratic Party. And Hillary Clinton's candidacy appears to be no exception.
Thank you so much, South Carolina!
In recent polls, she has the backing of approximately 87% of black voters. Still, that doesn't mean she can take that vote for granted.
I don't think that there's excitement about Hillary Clinton right now. She's got to establish the excitement. Do you have any pictures of
The Reverend Jacques DeGraff is a member of a group called 100 Black Men, an African-American advocacy group.
I believe in competition, and I believe that in some ways our vote has been taken by granted by some in the Democratic Party. Hillary Clinton has to not rest on Barack Obama's laurels.
The Clintons do have a long history with black voters. Husband Bill, of course, had their support when he won 2 terms as president. He also did certain things that raised questions in the black community. When, for instance, after the Rodney King riots, rapper Sister Souljah said, "If black people kill black people every day, why not have a week and kill white people?" Bill Clinton, then a candidate for president, spoke out against her during a Jesse Jackson Rainbow Coalition event.
I know she is a young person, but she has a big influence on a lot of people. And when people say that, if you took the words white and black and you reversed them, you might think David Duke was giving that speech.
It became known as his Sister Souljah moment and was generally seen as an attempt to reassure moderate voters about where he stood. Once in office, he passed the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, a tough-on-crime measure. Hillary supported it and, in fact, rode the anti-crime bandwagon.
The kinds of kids that are called super predators, no conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
A generation later, her earlier comments and beliefs have caused her problems among some in the black community.
I know that you called black youth super predators in 1994. Please explain it to the record. Explain it to us. You owe black people an apology.
Perhaps chastened by such encounters, the Hillary Clinton of 2016 was a far cry from the tough-on-crime Hillary of the past.
Around that corner.
Then came Dallas. 12 police officers shot, 5 killed, followed by Baton Rouge, 3 officers killed, 3 wounded. Within days, Clinton gave a speech to the NAACP. Some wondered if this could be her Sister Souljah moment.
And today there are people all across America sick over what happened in Baton Rouge and in Dallas, but also fearful that the murders of police officers means that vital questions about police-community relations will go unanswered.
Instead of suggesting, even once, that anyone might wish to tone down their anti-police rhetoric.
There is clear evidence that African Americans are disproportionately killed in police incidents compared to any other group.
She focused on how the police needed reform, stating their run-ins with people of color are due to bias and not, say, differential crime rates. Apparently, the Sister Souljah moment had passed. All right, well, after watching that, I do want to put this into the context. We mentioned the shootings of police officers and where we are in this country with race relations, with just kind of the heartbeat of anger among some citizens, and really the heartbeat that we have to protect our law enforcement and where we are and all that. So Hillary Clinton is looking at a different people of color electorate, if you will, than her husband had to look at.
She is. It is a more varied electorate, more different strains. But one political reality, Harris, and that is she needs 90% plus of the African American vote at a robust turnout to win the election. If she doesn't get it, she's not elected President of the United States.
Is she on track to do that?
Right now she is, but she needs turnout, unity at her convention, and most of all, she needs black leaders all over the country to come together for her.
Also, as Doug pointed out, she's got two presidents who are going to work together, even though they don't like each other. President Obama, former President Clinton. They're going to work together to drive that black turnout up to elect her.
That is the opportunity that Donald Trump's acceptance speech that I thought was very interesting, which when he talked about what was happening in urban America, in black America, and the education, and the lack of jobs, he began to at least make a case to try to, in school choice, and a really good point. The problem for the Democratic Party is it has promised African Americans everything and delivered almost nothing in urban America, but the Republicans can't get the votes because they have no empathy.
So then when you say that four-letter word, jobs, it is like a loud bell in the room.
This is Trump's strength that he needs to hammer from now on. When Republicans try to get the black vote, they at least make themselves look better among moderate white voters who are a little wary of them. And this is where Trump's weakest point is, among moderate white suburban voters. If he looks empathetic, and I believe Donald Trump is empathetic, by the way.
Well, a lot of his surrogates are people of color, and they are compelling speakers, as we saw at the RNC convention.
The police chief who said "Blue Lives Matter" was one of the best lines of the convention.
Harris,
Yeah.
statistically, the Republicans have a long way to go in the swing states. Many polls have shown under 5% for Donald Trump. Whether he can do that, use what he did at the convention, as Pat and John said, as a starting point to emphasize what he has done. Look, Donald Trump has hundreds, if not thousands, of African Americans working gainfully for him. They love him. He hasn't talked about it.
All right, let's talk deep stakes for just